again, it's hard to wrap your head around, but putting yourself in that context of what that must have been like. I love, like, in your book, when you're telling that story, it does a really good job of helping to put the reader in that place of what that must have been like in there. I'm curious because there are a lot of details of your father's earlier life. Were those things that he told you specifically, or were they things that you had to research after the fact, or how did that part kind of come together for that story as you're putting all these pieces together?
A little bit of both. I can't imagine the boredom, living in quarters like that, packed in with people, or even hiding out in your own home with yellow stars, yellow armbands, the anxiety, the depression, the fear. I can't imagine that. But like you say, you can feel it, like during my dad's first escape. So yeah, my dad and mom wrote an autobiography. They wrote his story from World War One, the end of World War One, to the end of the Hungarian Revolution. So literally 1916, 1917, 18 to the end of the Hungarian Revolution, 1956. They wrote the story in the 1970s. They wrote it as though it happened the previous day, sharp, crisp, and I turned it into a biography many, many years later. Growing up, the first half of my life, not so much, because I went to college and medical school, had a career as a radiologist, family, all of that thing. So I didn't, but I did read it went from paper and pencil to typewriter to computer to disc. And when it was a manuscript, maybe 30 years ago, I read it once and didn't think much of it and didn't remember much except my dad's first escape. But then when I reread it after my dad passed, unfortunately, my mom, a historian friend handed me the story on the disc, and I turned his autobiography into a biography. And just doing that alone, long story short, I went back to radiology, and that brought me to the book. And long story short, the stories were so amazing. At least 20 miracles in my dad's life in Hungary, 4 escapes and 20 miracles. I couldn't leave it on a computer. I couldn't leave it on a disc. I wanted to share it with the world. And so I did. And that's been my charge. That's been my mission the last 6 or 7 years. The book's been out a little while now, but that doesn't stop me from trying to fight anti-Semitism. So this is my main thing while I'm doing this. And but yeah, it's my own little corner. I need help with that, obviously. But no, my mom and dad, they did this as though they knew I would. Like, if you knew me 6 years ago, and my mom was a Holocaust educator, by the way, my dad too, but he was an OBGYN, by the way. He delivered 10,000 babies from the Detroit area, which is a form of redemption. That's the punchline. It doesn't bring back 6 million and doesn't bring back 50 million that died in World War II, but at least he brought some life back in.